Thank you for joining us for a 13 plus FastCast on a Monday afternoon. I'm Carson Courier. We have First Alert meteorologist Corey Kowitz with us. Corey, you were just saying those storms starting to pop off across the region. What are you tracking right now?
Yeah, the skies have just, for lack of better words, just really opened up right now. We're seeing a lot of storm activity. Look no further than the downtown cam looking to our south. How about this? Take a look at that cell that's forming to the south there, impacting areas in Sahuarita down I-19. This is really a really good picture. This is what we're dealing with now. We have a lot of storms now forming, moving from the southeast to the northwest, and we currently have a severe thunderstorm warning to our south with a storm heading off, moving to the north and west, impacting Sahuarita right now with looking like some hail. I mean, you're seeing that white on the depiction. That is indicating very, very high reflectivity values and almost certainly hail falling over the town there as it looks to pass through I-19. This will be running through 245. The National Weather Service is saying radar is indicating an inch of hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with this. If the track holds true and the storm holds together, it should arrive in places like Old Tucson by 254, Drexel even closer, 232, and again, if it continues to move in that direction, Picture Rock's 327, and then Marana 344 if that storm holds together. Zooming it back out, you can really see the skies just opening up with those storms blossoming almost everywhere you look in eastern portions of Pima, Santa Cruz, and western portions and northern portions of Cochise County. I have a feeling this will not be the last severe thunderstorm warning we're going to see today. Let's track that hail. Radar is indicating, our radar that is indicating hail just under an inch, but it hasn't updated in the last 5 minutes or so, so we could be looking at a different picture 5 to 10 minutes or so. I'll be broadcasting at 3 o'clock. We could be looking at a very different situation with these storms developing, possibly some more severe thunderstorm warnings underway, but as of now, just one severe thunderstorm warning impacting the Sahuarita area right now, heading off to the north and west, crossing I-19. Severe thunderstorm warning. What this means is 58-mile-per-hour winds or greater, or at least an inch of hail in diameter, or a funnel cloud or tornado. What we have with that cell is the 60-mile-per-hour wind, so check the wind and the hail. We don't have any report of a funnel cloud, so it's the winds and the hail with that cell. When I woke up today, it was very muggy, and I thought to myself, oh man, this is going to be conducive for storms. If we can get some sunshine, that could even add more fuel to the fire with that instability. And what we had was some clearing during the morning, leaving way for some pretty conducive activity. And you're seeing that right now with the storms popping up. Why is that? Well, when you have rainy and cloudy conditions in the morning, you don't have that surface heating, you don't have that instability or air to rise, and the afternoons look like this, sunny with a few clouds. But what we had today were clear conditions, partly cloudy, but enough sun coming through, adding surface heating, adding that instability, and therefore what you're seeing on that radar and what you may be seeing outside your door are those storms forming during the afternoon. The models are saying the same thing with CAPE. CAPE is just the ability for air to rise. Just think of it as instability or fuel for storms to form. You can see where that center of the red is right around Tucson is where it is expected to really peak around 5, 6 o'clock, and that's when we could see those showers and storms really form. And I talked about the humidity. How about 72-degree dew points this morning? It looks to be the highest that we've seen of monsoon. I haven't confirmed it, but from my memory, I think this is the most humid we've seen it this morning, and it's on pace to be the muggiest day of the year. Still really muggy out there with 66-degree dew points. Anything over 60, Carson, is plenty to get those storms going, and you can feel that, really, that moisture in the air. How about we talk about this? So I'm talking about the instability. I'm talking about the moisture. Let's talk about shear. That's something we haven't dove into because we just haven't had that. So shear is just the change of wind with height. Why I'm showing you this is because this is another factor we look at to determine how conducive storms could be in terms of how severe they could be. What Hillary has done is brought the jet stream down south and running north to south. You can see those higher values of red, meaning faster upper level winds, which means not only do we have instability, moisture, we also have shear in place, which is why the Storm Prediction Center is giving us a marginal severe risk with the main threat being wind and hail. Take a look right there. This is where the hail and the wind risk will be the greatest in our viewing area. Hail risk will be mostly reserved to eastern portions of Pima up into Pinal, and the wind risk a little bit more widespread, including central and eastern portions of Pima, Santa Cruz, western portions of Graham and Cochise, and also Pinal County. Let's time out these showers and storms with our future radar here. really getting organized over the next few hours around 3 o'clock with those higher radar reflectivity values really peaking in terms of how widespread and strong these storms are around the 5-6 o'clock hour in and around southern Arizona. And then by the overnight evening hours, it starts to weaken, but still those showers still lingering. It really takes till the overnight hours, early morning hours tonight for a lot of that to clear out for many. Here are your storm chances for today, 60% in and around Tucson. If you haven't had storms already, these are your odds. 50% and 60% is the main story in and around our region. So they'll be scattered to widespread storms. So you may not get storms. You may. It's about a coin flip for many of you here today. So overall, severe storms right now. Watch out for that throughout the afternoon as they develop, and make sure to stay weather aware.
Thank you so much, Corey. Some great information there. If you want to check on our weather, see kind of where those storms are related to you, always feel free to go to our First Alert weather app, or you can tune in coming up here on 13 News at 3. Taking a look now to California, where they're seeing some pretty big impacts from the now post-tropical cyclone Hillary, the record-breaking storm causing flooding, mudslides, and debris flows. You can see just how big of a mess they're dealing with on your screen. One especially hard-hit area, Palm Springs. Yesterday, emergency responders there conducted swift water rescues amid rapidly rising rivers and flooded roadways. I mean, take a look at your screen. Cars driving through water, almost going halfway up their vehicle. Definitely extremely dangerous there. Rescues also playing out in San Diego and Ventura County. Flood watches are in effect for more than 25 million people from Southern California to northern Idaho. The storm has also triggered mud and rock slides, and in Los Angeles, where the storm flooded freeways. Schools there were closed today. The mayor there is now speaking out. Listen.
As of right now, there have not been any deaths or significant risk of injury. Our commitment to you is that we will approach our recovery with the same intensity as we approached our preparation. As skies clear, the Department of Water and Power crews have already mobilized to return power to Angelenos.
And turning now to Maui, where we know that President Biden just landed there maybe about 20 minutes ago. We know that he just got off of Air Force One with the First Lady. They are heading to Lahaina to see the widespread damage there. They're starting their visit with an aerial tour of the island to see some of the damage from the wildfires firsthand. Biden is also set to meet with survivors, first responders, and other officials. The president is also assigning FEMA official Bob Fenton to coordinate the long-term federal response. Fenton has been on the ground there since the fires began earlier this month. The governor of Hawaii, Josh Green, says the president's trip will not interfere with ongoing recovery efforts. Today, officials continue to search for the 850 people that are still missing. Again, we know that President Biden has arrived in Maui. He's going to start taking a look at all of this damage, the damage you're seeing right here on your screen. We'll be sure to update you with the very latest once we learn more. Taking a look now to our website, where we're tracking some developing news out of Tucson. A man has been accused of impersonating a police officer. You see him right there on your screen, 64-year-old Robert Hanley. He was arrested Friday on a felony charge of impersonation of a police officer. Tucson Police Department said an officer saw Hanley, who was in a dark blue minivan. He was trying to pull over another vehicle near Kolb and Escalante. Hanley was pulled over, and officers noticed he had improvised emergency lighting by securing a strobe light with a blue tape to his van. Officers said they found an old Arizona government license plate, binoculars, and 2 toy guns in the vehicle. TPD said if anyone finds themselves in a similar situation, to pull into a well-lit area, call 911. You can also ask for the officer's name, badge number, and identification. And happening now, the hole in the Pima County Sheriff's Department budget is getting bigger. Sheriff Chris Nanos is asking the Board of Supervisors to make changes to the county's recently passed budget. Now, as we've reported, Nanos has said that over time, inflation and overtime are key factors driving a $3 million shortfall in last year's budget. But Nanos says the gap in the new budget will be even bigger if supervisors don't act. Listen.
You seem to be asking for carte blanche of access to Pima County's general fund, and that's not how it works. As far as my understanding is that the Sheriff's Department comes to the board, and I'm glad to hear that you're working more closely with county administration to ensure your budget reflects its actual needs before passing and adopting the sheriff's budget.
I was asked to come to you to express to you where we're at in our budget today moving forward in 23-24. We addressed 22-23 last time I was here. So this is telling you where we are. If things go just as they are, we will be $4.8,002,176 in the red unless something happens.
The supervisors did not take formal action on the sheriff's request. Turning now to a story we've been developing, really telling you about all last week. Now, the Southern Arizona rancher accused of shooting and killing a migrant on his property was back in court today. We actually had an opportunity to speak with him in passing. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I've learned in this whole proceeding not to expect anything.
Not to expect anything.
Exactly.
Okay. As far as
Now, we know that that was Kelly's response to the state's announcement today that it has secured its key eyewitness. In a hearing last week, prosecutors mentioned the state may have dropped all charges if it wasn't able to get them on the stand. Also discussed last week was a sanction of continuance brought forward by the state, which means the trial could no longer be postponed. Now, that was dismissed as the defense announced it would no longer be calling on its experts as witnesses. Jury selection was discussed as well, with questionnaires being worked on. Those should be complete within the next day or so, with the court set to pick just 8 jury members and 3 alternates. The trial is still on track to begin on September 6th. And turning now back to Tucson, where one talented dance group is getting ready to go national. They are traveling to a different country, Germany, to compete in a world championship. Our very own Andreas Rendon spoke to them and had a little bit of fun during the midst of it. Take a look.
Dancers with DXX Tap are practicing in the studio every day because in less than 1 month they'll be tapping their way to Germany for the World Tap Championships.
Two years ago, dancer Brendan Kellum started DXX Tap, Southern Arizona's only nonprofit tap dance company that helps bring tap dance to people across the Old Pueblo and raise money for different causes. He was even able to get his own dance studio this past January to further his movement. But Kellum's love for tap dancing goes back much further.
I decided to go to the University of Arizona to get my bachelor in dance, and so I am a graduated dance major from there, and I decided that I wanted to start something, but I didn't want to just start a company where we tap dance just kind of for fun, because tap dance is for fun, but I wanted to kind of reach out and do more with it.
While coaching these dancers, Kellum is also getting in on the performance, but the experience is a little more special for the young tappers. 5 dancers from 14 to 16 years old will represent the team. This championship will be their first time representing the United States, and it's also their first time dancing in an international event.
It's kind of like crazy because I've always been doing tap since I was really little, and until I heard that I could possibly go to Germany, I didn't know that I could do something that big, and so now it's like, whoa.
Just the progression and tap dancing in general. I mean, I love tap dancing. This whole journey leading up to now, I've got to, tap my heart up.
Now, the team is focused on perfecting the routines for the full-length performance coming up in mid-September, which will help raise money for their expenses. Admittedly, Brendan's nerves are a little high this year, even more than when he competed in 2018. But his loyalty and passion for his team and craft tap well beyond.
Tap family is good family. Nobody judges, nobody, beats you down or critiques you. It's all positivity, it's all love. I've been so blessed to watch all the growth that you guys have had this season, and it's time to put it all out there and show the world why we're the best.
To learn more about DXX Tab or the dancer's journey to the World Championships, you can head on down to our site at KLD.com to learn all that information and more. Reporting from Ina and Old Father, Andres Rendon, 13 News. 7, 8.
I'm sorry, that just made my whole day. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. I think Andres Rendon really needs to get into tap dancing because that was just fabulous. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We'll leave you with a live look out to the Tucson mountains. You can just see those clouds getting darker, a lot of cloud cover. As you just heard Corey at the beginning of this FastCast, they are tracking a lot of storm activity, a lot of moisture in the air. So definitely tune in coming up right here at 3 o'clock for the latest on your radar. You can also head to our First Alert Weather app for the latest updates. Thank you so much for watching. You can tune in at 7:30 for another 13 Plus FastCast with your news and weather. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.